Welcome to Sapphire Music Monday. I'm your host, Keitaro Harada. This episode is made possible by Charles C. Taylor and Samir Nikochevich Charitable Foundation.
My name is Carl Polk, and I play trombone in the Savannah Philharmonic. I played in the Philharmonic for many years and really enjoy it.
And then, Carl, you've been with the Philharmonic prior to this Philharmonic. How long have you been living in Savannah?
Well, I moved to Savannah in 1978 from Atlanta to play with the former Savannah Symphony. My first 10 years, I kept up my active freelance career in Atlanta. So I really spent as much time there as in Savannah. But when the former Savannah Symphony got busier, starting in the late 80s, early 90s, I pretty much became a full-time, stayed here in Savannah for the most part. And then I became the orchestra personnel manager in 1989. And I did that until the orchestra, the former Savannah Symphony, closed in 2003. So I was full-time principal trombone, and I had a part-time administrative position. And I really liked what I did with the former Savannah Symphony. With that said, I was very happy when the Philharmonic began 10 years ago, and I've been playing with it, except for the first half a season. I played with it for almost the whole 10 years, and I've really enjoyed it.
Are you originally from Georgia?
Yes, from Atlanta.
You are from Atlanta. Oh, no, fantastic. How are you spending your time during these quarantine days?
Well, I'm retiring as a public school teacher. After 15 years, I teach music theory and composition at the Savannah Arts Academy, which is just a block and a half behind our house. So I have a very long commute to work. Anyway, I've been teaching there. When the former Savannah Symphony folded, I was very fortunate to get that job. And I've grown to love teaching. And I greatly miss my students since we're just teaching online now.
This is such a awful way for your last year as a teacher.
It really is. And like I mentioned to you before, I've been learning many new ways to present the curriculum. And it's a shame because I could use these new technologies and everything I've learned in the last 4 weeks. It would really enrich my classroom teaching. But, you know, that's one thing that I've liked about teaching. I learn new stuff every year.
Wonderful. Tell me, what goes in your mind being a principal trombone player in an orchestra?
Well, my first serious trombone teacher was Harry Maddox, the former principal trombonist of the Atlanta Symphony. And one of the first things he said to me was, you know, if a violinist makes a mistake, hardly anyone will notice. But if a trombonist makes a mistake, everybody notices.
That's very true. What are some things do you have any concepts of what a trombone choir, trombone section in an orchestra function in regards to itself, and then in relationship to the trumpets and the French horns and the tuba?
Well, you know, the trombone is, most people think it's a loud, blatty instrument, but it has many beautiful musical sides. It can be wonderfully lyrical as well as very majestic and powerful in tone. So it's a very, and I like all the many ways it's used in the orchestra, both in very soft lyrical chorales, and of course, you know, in your face, majestic passages like in the Tchaikovsky Symphony 4 we just did. And I love collaborating with all the instruments of the brass section and the orchestra.
I love the trombone because not only is it capable of playing the fanfare-esque, energetic passages with the trumpets, it's also one of those instruments that is actually really capable of blending beautifully with the wind section, and then harmonizing and adding color to that wind harmony, and then blending well with the cellos and the violas. I always think.
Yes, absolutely. And
Hmm.
I love playing with the cellos and the bassoons, especially because that's the range of the trombone.
Hmm. Definitely. And then in this past season, when I had the opportunity to do the concerts in Savannah Philharmonic, I put the cellos sort of in the middle where there is a line between the cellos, the bassoons, and the
Mhm.
trombone, so that the inner
Ah,
harmony of the comes right. There's a direct line, and I've always enjoyed your sound just hovering over
okay.
the bassoon and the cellos.
Well, will we
They're
keep that
beautiful.
set up?
We'll explore. I love that setup, but I'm not
Mm-hmm.
married to it. I think given the different repertoire, we always have to change the setup
Sure.
so that it maximizes our our sound and our musicality.
Well, I'll look forward to the next time we do that setup, so I can
Yeah.
experience that connectiveness.
Definitely. Are there any particular concerts that you're looking forward to next season?
Well, I'm looking forward to the Shostakovich Fifth. That's one of my
Hmm.
favorite pieces of all time. Um, and there is some new material. I was just looking through it again. Honestly, I've been sort of busy the last 4 weeks
Of
teaching,
course.
um, but I remember we're doing Shostakovich Fifth.
Yeah. The Shostakovich five trombone part is very prominent.
Yeah.
Um, And what does it feel like to be playing these, big, heavy Russian repertoire as a trombonist?
Well, it's exhilarating. It requires a lot of chops, especially first trombone.
Hmm.
I enjoy all the preparation, all the practice that goes into preparing for a piece like that.
Hmm.
Uh, the last page is one of the most um, difficult pages chop wise in the literature
Yeah,
because you literally play for the whole page
right.
at double forte, and it's the culmination of the work.
Hmm.
And I love that. As we discussed, the trombone can be beautifully lyrical, but I love that powerful side.
Yeah,
And
that is such an exhausting but rewarding,
oh,
last
absolutely.
couple minutes for the trombone section. When you think you've given all, there's still a full page left.
Exactly.
It's a great it's definitely a great moment. Tell me why you enjoy playing with the Savannah Philharmonic.
Well, because it's our local orchestra, and I like, I love sharing my a love of playing with the people in Savannah, and um, I I just think it's great that we have a fan base, that we have people that come to our concerts, of course, and I love sharing my love of music with them, and I hope that we continue to build our audience base. And I
Hmm.
look forward to sharing what I do with more audience members.
Wonderful. How do you balance your life with trombone? I know you have your teaching, and then
Yes,
after retirement, I know you're a big cyclist.
yes.
Um, Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I'm an avid um, cyclist. I really like to exercise. It's mainly for my mental health.
Hmm.
Um, and I've been riding with the local riding club for
Hmm.
about 12 years.
Hmm.
And I typically, now I did about a year off the year we did Bolero uh, d- uh, uh, between schoolwork and the orchestra. That was a very busy year. And so
Hmm.
I didn't ride much at all, but primarily I ride thousands of miles a year and I just love
Hmm.
it. I have a whole, bunch of cycling friends. We do different rides all over the area. This past Saturday, 6 of us met in Statesboro. We did an 80-mile ride that went counterclockwise around Statesboro and the rolling hills. And I love doing that stuff. I usually ride about 150 miles a week.
Wow, that's fantastic. No wonder you're in such good shape all the time. Excellent. Would you like to give a shout out to anyone who might be watching this interview?
Well, I'd like to give a shout out to all the students that I miss at the Savannah Arts Academy, especially the seniors that are graduating. I've really enjoyed all those students that I've taught over the years. I'd also like to give a big shout out to the brass section of the Philharmonic, who I really miss. And I look forward to playing again with everybody next year.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for your time, Carl.
Sure. Thank you, Keitaro.
Thank you for watching the interview. To the class of 2020, congratulations on your graduation. Please enjoy Elgar's Pomp and Circumstance March No. 1, performed by the NHK Symphony Orchestra.